Are you ready to perform at your highest potential? Welcome to the Performance Matters podcast from GP Strategies, your talent transformation partner. In each episode, we'll interview industry experts and explore best practices and innovative insights to help your organization improve performance.
The one I go to quite often was kind of to the comments earlier about not using AI as a search engine, was the lawyer in New York that asked ChatGPT to help write briefs for him to present in court. And it wrote really nice briefs, but it made up previous cases law. And he got called out on it and cited and fined and all of those sort of things because he cited cases as precedent that didn't exist because it made them up. It's not a good search engine. And that's an example I use quite often to drive that point home that generative AI is not a replacement for search. It's not a good search engine.
Okay. That's concerning. Yes.
Well, and knowing that lawyer, and actually it happened twice. Two lawyers were fined $5,000 each plus their personal reputation damaged. I mean, they're going to be a cautionary tale for others. But what's amazing is they could have taken literally 2 minutes, walked over to the Westlaw database, submitted the case law that was referenced, and found out that it was fictitious. It was hallucinated. It wasn't authentic. So it's a failure on the human. And I think that's the part is you can't blame the bot. You can't go, the bot made me do it. You are the owner of it. And, and that's where, the judge held them, personally accountable for. You can't, and actually that is filing a brief. Technically, that would either be fraud or deception in a legal consideration. I mean, it's not just like, hey, you got a fine for this. I mean, it has broader implications.
Right.
But as humans, we don't look at it and pay attention to it. That's it. And that's the problem with sometimes the generative is it is so good, you almost have to read it differently than you would others. Because on the skimming of the surface, it sounded good. It seemed referenced. The names looked good. It would look like a real reference, but it was completely fictitious. That's where the problem is. You got to dig in and make sure you're really doing it well and adopting it. So you got to be accountable.
Absolutely. That is such a great learning lesson because you're right. When something is an output from an AI, it looks so buttoned up, doesn't it? You're like, oh my goodness. We can't even question this, and boy, what a great guardrail.
Space a lot, Michael, when we talk about content creation, because there's this really great, all these cool vendors out there now. They're like, write a 3-word prompt, and we'll generate a course based off of that, and it will generate a really beautiful course, and it will have words in it. They might not be the correct words, and that's the part that we need to be very thoughtful and cautious about. But with the right prompt and the right kind of data that we give it, it very much can do the right thing. But we have to give it the guidance and help it along that way.
Right. It sounds like in your case, what you're talking about, whether it's an attorney or a learning and development professional, is you have someone, your job and your responsibility is to become the informed editor and sculptor of the output. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
I mean, I think the user is going to have to learn how to be able to assess expertise without being an expert, which is an art in and of itself. The question is how are we dealing with, is it legitimate or is it BS? And a variation of this, we actually had this as a robust discussion internally is we had a team working with a client. It's a work product for them. So it's for them, about them. Subject matter expert clearly submitted content to be included that was pulled directly from ChatGPT. No modification to it. No, it was clear that it was coming over from that. And the question is when you get this as a SME, did you really validate what was being said? And if our goal is to say, we want it to be accurate and authentic, how do you actually flag that or bring some things forward to help do that? And we were talking about, so what's the etiquette on this? And so, you know, I think one of the guidelines we were talking about is that teams, you know, what we're going to work, my recommendation is working into project teams is you actually have that as part of your project management kickoff. We're going to talk about this. Hey, AI is a tool out there. You have a company policy on this one, but are we using ChatGPT to pull things from here as a SME? What's our guidelines? How do you want us to handle this? You know, in a similar vein, if somebody were to go out and said, we're writing a leadership course for you, and it's about you, but they clearly went on the internet and stole somebody else's intellectual property, their model, their content, you know, we wouldn't, and we knew that it was actually stolen and they have licenses for it, we would be behooved to actually call that out because they don't have license and we've contributed to the work product. So the question is, you know, where did you get it? Is it accurate? Can we include it in the course? Because what'll be forgotten is, well, it'll just be remembered that it was wrong, copied, or plagiarized. And, you know, for us in this case, our name's associated with it, may not remember the source of where it came from. So getting in front of these things, you know, it's not so much the tool. The tool has its behaviors we know about. It's the humans we have to have accountability for what we get.
The Performance Matters podcast is brought to you by GP Strategies. Together, we can create a world where business excellence makes possibilities achievable. You can subscribe to the show anywhere you get podcasts or listen on our website at gpstrategies.com.